What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a new video. Today's video is a video for beginners on card collecting. I noticed a lot of new collectors entering the hobby recently, and they've been hitting me up asking me questions about stuff. And since there's so many new collectors, I thought it'd be nice to make this video on all the useful information, tips, tricks about the hobby to help you guys get started. Because I know when I first started collecting, I was completely lost, and having this information is definitely helpful. So I'm gonna cover several topics, and I understand it's going to be a long video and there's going to be a lot of information. So I'm going to try my best to hopefully put timestamps in the pinned comment and the description of this video. So if you go to the description, hopefully there'll be some little timestamps and little blurbs next to them as to what each timestamp's for. And that'll be the general topics like how people collect, types of cards, where to buy them, grading, terminology, stuff like that. Just so I can break it down in case some of you guys don't care about one part, or you might already know one part and you don't need to hear it twice. So yeah, pretty much here we go. A lot of information. Bear with me. It's so much stuff. My mind's circling with just like tons of things that I want to go over. So take them one step at a time. And let's talk about how to collect sports cards. So the first thing, number one, how people collect. So there's a lot of ways to do it. For example, I am a collector, and I just collect, Grizzlies cards. I collect, nice players. I like Mahomes. I like Zion. I like Luka. I just collect stuff for my Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson, all sorts of guys like that. But not everyone does that, for example. So while I collect and I keep it, I'm trying to build up my PC or my personal collection. There's also people who invest. So I would take the Zion card right here, and I would keep it because I like it. There's also someone who would want to invest in this card. They have this card not to just keep it forever, but they eventually want to see it go up. They're looking at it as more of investment opportunity, and they want this card to go up in value and maybe sell down the line or trade for other big cards. And nothing wrong with that. There's also resellers people who would buy this box, for example, and their kind of goal is just to sell it, and they just want to make money. I actually know tons of people now who just do that. I understand, the lure of the making some money, and once again, there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. But some people, once again, will keep this card. Some people will, just have it with the intent to sell it down the line or see it go up, and then some people will buy cards, boxes, just so that they can quickly flip it for some profit. A lot of these guys, for example, similar to how they flip shoes, they do the same thing with cards now. As you guys have noticed with Prism releases, with Optic and Select, how people are just buying it up and it pops up on eBay for triple the price 10 minutes later. So that's ultimately some of the ways. I mean, you could also be someone who makes a product to sell. You could do tons of things with cards. A lot of ways. Ultimately, what you do with your cards is up to you, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way. I personally like to collect this stuff and keep it. That's the way I see this hobby. But once again, there's a lot of ways to collect. So I could buy singles. I know that's a lot of fun. I love buying, like, for example, what's a big card I bought here? I bought this card right here. So this Dak Prescott I bought, and it was super duper fun. Is it as fun as actually pulling the card? No, but I mean, there's definitely some sort of thrill to getting a huge card to your collection. It's awesome. Buying singles is what I refer to, just buying this off eBay or going on Instagram. I find a seller, or I went on ComC and I saw this card, made an offer, and they accepted it, and I got the card. So that's one way. Then there's boxes. So I could go to my local card shop. I could go to Walmart, and I could find a box of cards, and I buy them, and I try to pull a big card. So for example, this John Morant. I pulled this one, and I also pulled this Zion. This was from a hobby box that was, several $100s. This one was from a blaster box, which I bought for $20 and now resells for $100. So once again, bringing that whole resale aspect into it. Supply and demand. Everyone wants it. No one can find it. Price goes up. But so you could buy singles. You could try breaking the boxes. Obviously, singles provide you with value because I'm paying $500 for, say, that Dak, and I'm getting my $500 value. Now I could spend $500 on this box, and I'm just throwing out random numbers, so this is not a $500 box, and that's not a $500 card. But I could buy this box for $500, and I could walk away with nothing. I could walk away with $200. I could walk away with $1,000. Boxes are much more risky. It's harder to hit stuff, but you can hit, much bigger stuff, and you can potentially, there's a small chance, but you can get that money back plus more. There's, various ways to break things, break in terms of like opening a box. So I break a box or I rip packs. It's kind of what we say. But you can also do, like repack products. There's group breaks, stuff like that, where you can have a chance to, buy in, spend some money, and see if you can hit a nice card. So if you go on some of my older videos, I'm ripping like subscription boxes, or I'm ripping Chase My Comics, and that's where it's a repack product, so those cards aren't made by the manufacturer, but say someone who makes this product puts this card in as the Chase card, and we're all buying packs trying to pull this card. So there's tons of ways to try to collect. Once again, whatever you like the most is up to you. If you want value, singles, if you want some sort of risk, you want to risk it for the biscuit, as we say, you can buy boxes. And if you want sort of that middle ground, sometimes those like eBay lots, like Chase My Comics, for example, I would say is a good middle ground. But yeah, it's a lot of good stuff and different ways to do it. Next, you might be wondering, so what types of cards are there? And there's so many. I'm going to cover the basic ones. So here I have a base card of Jabari Parker. So I rip a box of Prism, and this is a base card. So, and obviously, if this was a valuable card, I wouldn't be putting my smudgy fingerprints all over it. I'd either wear gloves, I'd make sure I wash my hands no more, or I would, sleeve it up immediately, because you don't want to get it too dirty. If you want to clean it, I have a microfiber cloth which cleans it really well. But yeah, that's besides the point. This is a base card. Every product has a base set, which usually have some of the stars, some of the bigger the base set, the more players are in it. So say it's a 100 card base set, it's usually just stars. If it's a 300 card base set like Prism, then you could get really random guys like Wayne Ellington, Reggie Jackson, just a bunch of guys. Also LeBron though. So there's a lot of guys on the base set, and then within each product there's also these subsets of inserts, subsets of autographs. So there's various stuff you can find. So this is an insert here. It's a rookie insert, but it is an insert, so this is not part of the base set. It's part of a separate set. And some inserts are good, some are bad. Most base aren't worth too much, but a few base cards every now and then are worth something. And then there's also numbered cards. So a numbered card would be this here. And by numbering, I mean on the back in a little silver, it's serial numbered, 65 of 299. So there's 299 of this parallel, of this red one. Now there's also a blue one to 199. There's a purple one to 75, and there's a black one of 1, there's a gold to 10, and there's so many different parallels, but it is numbered, so there's only a certain amount of this exact parallel out there. Now, some numbered cards, once again, are worth very little. Some are worth a lot. So this card's worth a ton because it's a top rookie. And then say if this was, I don't know, like Alex Caruso. Actually, he's pretty popular, so maybe I shouldn't say him. But say it was like Brook Lopez, for example, who's a good player, but doesn't even have too hot of a market. That card would be only worth like $1. So you want the hot names, you want the huge names, and sometimes even the stars aren't worth that much. It's just the hot guys. It's the highly coveted guys that that are chased the most. But yeah, that's a numbered card. And then there's also short prints or super short prints, SSP/SP. That's how we abbreviate it. So this, for example, is a galactic parallel. And this is a very rare card. We don't know the print run, which is why we just call it super short printed, because the print run of the card itself is short. And this is very valuable. Now, short print cards aren't always worth something, for example. So this same galactic parallel of someone, I don't know, like some random veteran, won't be worth that much. Say it was like Dwight Powell, who I don't even know if he's in the set or not, because this is a smaller base set. But not always worth something. However, if you hit this of Zion, it's several $1,000s. So these, although not numbered, are still worth a lot. Very rare. This is a short printed card that is tougher to pull. There's say the base set is not short printed at all. So this base card, there's just tons of them and not rare. Short print, super short prints, shorter print run. So next thing is another type of card is autographs, and there's also mem or memorabilia cards. So autos/autographs, memorabilia. This is an autograph. These are mems. So autographs can be on card like this. So this is signed on the card itself directly. So someone handed Dak Prescott this card and he signed it. Then there's also sticker autographs. I don't know if I actually included one here, but I do have one next to me, thankfully. So this Saquon Barkley is signed on a sticker. As you can see, there's that little like film layer on top of the card. That's a rectangle. So Saquon Barkley was sent a bunch of stickers, and he signed his name on the stickers, which were then put on these cards when they were produced. So at no point in time did Saquon Barkley sign this card physically. It's still his autograph. It's just on a sticker on the card. Another example is in the background, I have that Patrick Mahomes autograph. That one signed on a sticker, which is pasted on the card. That Luka Doncic, he signed the card in person. There's also memorabilia cards. And another thing about autographs, obviously you once again want the stars, the big names. Those guys go for a lot. On card's always better than the sticker. Not all autos are worth a lot. If I pulled an autograph of who's another Cowboys player like Jeff Heath, not really worth a lot. Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, worth a lot. Then there's jersey or patch cards. So the terms that usually used are relic, patch. These can be player worn or game worn. So actually grab two great examples. This one's game worn. So Shaq wore the jersey that this was cut from in a game. This McCaffrey is player worn. Now football, it's more common to find player worn. Basketball is more common to find game worn. Although with the rookies, it's almost always player worn because they haven't gotten jerseys that were worn in game yet until later in the year. So this means that he just kind of they sent him a jersey maybe and he just put it on quickly and took it off. And then they put it in the card. But this is a patch. This is a jersey. The term relic, I kind of use it as a more general term. Like if I pulled this Shaq, it's kind of just a jersey relic. Now, kind of how to distinguish it. So look on Christian McCaffrey's jersey here. So the black part would probably be, if they cut it out, that's part of the jersey that I call it. The 22, the Panthers logo, the swoosh, the NFL shield, and the collar, stuff like that, those would be a patch, kind of where there's, a different, generally called a patch. There's different texture, stitching, part of a seam, a logo, stuff like that. But the basic, just black, the basic yellow here on Shaq's jersey, those are just, jerseys or relics in some way. The term doesn't matter too much, but and mem cards aren't too valuable. It's mainly the patches like this that go for a little bit, and then the shields and the logo mans for NBA, the crazy patches like that, the Panther logo. Those are the ones that go for a lot. Mainly people, like the autographs and stuff like that. So that pretty much covers the general gist of all these cards. There's so many different types. I mean, I have a few more examples of cards here. These are graded ones, and I'll go more into grading soon. Trae Young, this is a rookie card. It's a parallel called the Sunburst, and it's numbered, serial number 36 to 75. Now, don't get these numbers confused. This is just his number in the set. So in the whole set, say there's 100 rookies, say 50 rookies and 100 base. He's number 150 in this set. This is the serial numbering. And on some older cards, it'll say like 3 of 9. That doesn't mean it's serial numbered if it's just not stamped like this. It just means it's 3 of 9 in this set. Another example, Jaren Jackson, my guy. Purple star is parallel. As you can see, it's purple and has stars on it. 8 of 13, that's a serial number, and its number in the set is somewhere here. It's just eluding me, and I'm not going to spend too much. Oh, it's really dark, so it's like impossible to see, but it's right there. On here it says, though, because it's graded, 188. And then this is the hollow or refractor or silver. These are good cards. Luka Doncic, obviously, being a great card. Number 177, not numbered or anything, but still, this would be a shorter print card. Not super short print, because the print run isn't too short, but it's a short printed card. It's a parallel, the hollow parallel, and it's one of the most coveted cards of Luka Doncic. All right, next, where to buy cards. So there's a lot of places to buy cards out there, but now not everyone has this. So I usually buy at I would say local card shop or LCS, and everyone usually for the most part knows what that is. It's kind of like a hobby shop where someone owns the shop, they get products from Panini or a distributor, and they just sell them to you. that being said, if you don't have one, you have to kind of buy online. So your best bet, in my opinion, not everyone has the best local card shops, but I personally think it's best to buy from your local card shop. You gotta support your LCS anyway. And at your shop, they'll have this hobby box. They'll have these single packs in the box so you can pick out and rip. Maybe they'll have like a blaster box like this, and they have a lot of options. You can choose what you want to break and go from there. But you don't have an LCS, you're kind of just left to buying online. Now prices are kind of crazy right now. I hate to say the old days, but like a year ago, 2 years ago, Dave and Adams or DA Card World, Blowout, Steel City Collectibles, places like that, they were really cheap. Now I think eBay might be the cheapest. People always ask me where's the cheapest place to get packs. There is no cheap place to get packs. That's like a simple answer. But your LCS could have decent deals. Some LCSs have good prices, and some do not. So, for example, one LCS in the middle of Arkansas could sell this. Now the SRP is 100, standard retail price, or suggested retail price, I should say, is 100. One random card shop in Arkansas could say, I'm going to charge 150, which is a great deal. Another one in California could say, I'm going to charge 200, and then one in Indiana could say, I'm going to charge 400. It's really up to them. There is a going price, and anything under that is just a generous offer by the card shop or the seller. But yeah, and then aside from buying boxes online or from your LCS, you can buy into group breaks, which is pretty much, say I'm a group breaker. I have 30 people buy all 30 NBA teams. So say I had the Knicks, and I get all the Knicks cards from the box. So if I have this box, or say I have 12 of this box, every Knicks card goes to me. And then say my friend Matt has the Pistons, every Pistons card goes to him. And then say my friend John has the Bucks, but there's no cards for the Bucks, then he could walk away with nothing. And then say my other friend hits a 1-of-1 autograph, he gets that big card, other friend walks away with nothing, and I could get something medium. So it's very risky. You could get nothing, you could get something huge. Personally, I like to rip my box because I like to rip the packs myself. So if I'm paying, you're betting I'm ripping the packs. But a lot of ways to do it. Once again, those repacks are also another way. And then you could just go value-wise and just buy a single straight off of eBay instead of trying to pull it. But that's for the most part where you buy boxes and singles. You can also try an Instagram, and for cards, there's ComC, or I think it's like check out my cards. That's what the abbreviation stands for, something like that. That's another good place to look at cards. But my main place is usually eBay and my local card shop. So check online if you have one, you can look it up. Supplies too, very important. Like for example, top loaders, sleeves. This mag right here. These you can find at your LCS. I've already done a video on where to get them, how to protect and store your cards. So that video will be linked in the description. So if you want to see that, go ahead and check that one out. But supplies, roughly the same place, eBay, your local card shop. Group breaks, they usually come protected. So, and yeah, I mean, for the most part, you got to protect your investments. So that video that I already made, that kind of goes more in depth on how to do that. All right, next, formats of products. There's a lot of different formats for products. So right here's a hobby box of Optic. It says hobby on it. Not all of them say it. You kind of just have to know what the hobby box looks like. And I go to Cardboard Connection to kind of see the breakdowns. Over time, you'll have no problem telling what's a hobby box versus a retail box. So for example, this one is hobby, but it doesn't say on here. So how am I supposed to know? And there's also a box that's pretty similarly shaped, I want to say. I haven't seen it in person, but the shape is similar at retail with maybe 6 packs and 4 cards per pack and only 1 autograph. This one has 5. But there's also a blaster box, and I believe like fat packs. There's a bunch of different formats. Usually there'll only be 1 or 2 hobby formats. Most hobby is the best. There's also first off the line, which will be exclusive from Panini, and they usually put bonuses in. Sometimes they're better, sometimes they're not. And then everything else is usually retail or overseas exclusives, which is called choice. So usually those will have less cards and special parallels. As far as retail goes, there's a lot of different ways. So there's this, which is the most standard form. This is a blaster box. Usually costs $20, and they don't come with the best odds or the best cards. You do have a chance, but for $20, you're getting what you're paid for, less odds. lower ceiling, lower floor, but sometimes the hobby is just too expensive, you know. There's also another form of retail, and this one's not usually sold at places like Target, Walmart, where they sell these retail products. This one's usually online or at your LCS, stuff like that. This is also retail. There's also, once again, the hanger packs, hanger boxes. There's so many formats that all come with exclusive stuff. Best way to look it up, I like to actually just go on eBay and see, as well as on those websites that sell cards, and you can kind of see which ones are on there, what's available, what they come with. But hobby is the best. Then first off the line's up there too, choice is up there, and then down the line it goes retail, various formats, blasters, rack packs. Another variation that's I think it's technically retail. It's slightly above in my opinion. There's fast break for basketball, or a hybrid for select, and all they do is pretty much just make a different parallels, a cheaper version of the box. So this box, for example, if it was fast break, it'd be green, and they'd have all the colors of regular Prism, except it has little bubbles on them, like little disco circles, and it's its own set. A little cheaper, but another option that's available. Best way, I like to watch videos. I like to go on Cardboard Connection, go on eBay, and just see what options are available for each product. So, for example, National Treasures will only have that one format, or maybe first off the line too, but there won't be a retail. Not everyone has a retail. And then Prism will have this box, this retail box, hanger boxes, hanger packs, mega boxes, one for Walmart, one for Target, hobby boxes, first off the line, choice. So it varies by product, and you can see those online. Then one thing I like to do before I break, I like to go online and see a video of what I've done. So I actually started this channel because I used to look in Target and I'd be lost because I wouldn't know what anything is. So why, what comes in this Dharma's pack? Is it good? What comes in this box of Optic? So I go online and there wouldn't be any videos. So that's why I actually started making this channel, is that usually I try to get by release day, a video up of what to expect from the product, so you can make the decision, because these things aren't cheap. They're really expensive. I mean, this is 100 SRP, but like $380 resale. This is like 200 something resale, and this is, I don't know, like 200 resale, and SRP is 175. So it's not cheap, and you want to know what you're getting before you go into it. But yeah, it's kind of the benefit of having YouTube, benefit of having eBay. You can kind of see what is in the product. So next is what to look for, or what's good, right? So how do I know what's a good card? How do I know what's a bad card? People always ask me, like, hey, is this valuable? Is this good? Is it bad? First of all, over time you'll learn. And I'm going to take the singles back out because it's a good way to tell. Over time, yeah, you will learn. I like to go on Cardboard Connection before every release. And I like to see on the site, it'll say, oh, in every case, or 16 box case, there's one of these like really rare parallels. So for example, wherever I put it, that Cam Reddish Galactic right here, this is a case hit. So in every 16 boxes, there's one parallel of this. Not even guaranteed to be a good player. It could be worth like $10. It could be worth $7,000, something like that. But that's kind of how you learn. So you'll learn what parallels there are, what autograph sets there are, and not every autograph of the same player even is made the same. So a Zion autograph from Prism, that's the base autograph, say $2,000. And these numbers are just examples. But the insert version, that say is a signature series, that's like a subset within Prism, that's also a Zion autograph. That one's worth significantly less. Same thing with Optic. There's the on-card rated rookie autographs, which are the main staple autograph card. And then there's the, I think those are also like significant signatures, something like that. It's a parallel, a kind of subset in a way. And it's still autographed, but it's worth significantly less. Like only maybe a few hundred, several hundred compared to thousands for the on-card one. So not all autos are made the same. Over time, you will learn. And Cardboard Connection will help you with a checklist of the product, as well as a little blurb as what to expect from the kind of POS document that Panini sends out, highlighting what to look for. So then eBay too. Now, some people get their hands on products early. Some people sell cards from the previous year, and that's how you can kind of tell what's valuable from this product. So from Prism, I might see this card going for $1,000 on eBay, and I haven't ripped the box yet. So now I know that if I find a red John Morant or any red top rookie or numbered top rookie, that's worth a lot of money, right? Or I could go on eBay and hypothetically this was going for $10. Next, when I see this card come out of my packs, I'm like, oh, I know it's not really that much. But yeah, and then you watch a lot of videos. So for example, if I pulled this John Morant and I said like, boom, and I start freaking out, I pulled a good card. And when you see similar cards, like say you pull a purple one, you know that's a good card, or you pull a silver one, you know it's a good card. Whereas if I just glossed by this Zion and said, all right, cool, it's probably not too important of a card. Now within each sport, there's brands and products that are better, like the highlight ones. So baseball, Topps. Topps makes baseball products. They have the license. Their stuff is the best for baseball. Topps equals baseball. Hockey, I believe, is Upper Deck. And then for basketball and football, it's Panini. So as you can see on this box, Panini, NBA. They have the license for NBA. Only they can make products with the jerseys on them. And as you can see, these are all Panini cards, Revolution, Prism. Now, for each sport, different products are worth different, the cards are worth different amounts. So for basketball, Optic, Prism are two of the most popular ones. For football, Contenders, Select, those are really popular. For both those sports, also National Treasures, like the cream of the crop. Then for baseball, you know, people like Bowman, because they have those first autographs of prospects. You know, I like Heritage personally, but there are some, you know, favorite products that go for much more than the cards will go for much more than other products. So for example, if I have a Dak Prescott autograph from Contenders, I said football, Contenders is the best product. That's within reason price wise. This, say, $1,000. Say I pull a Dak Prescott autograph from Illusions. Now that may cost the same amount almost, the box. Like say it's $150 for a box of Illusions, and say it was $150 for Contenders, just hypothetically. If I pulled an autograph numbered to 10 from Contenders and an autograph numbered to 10 from Illusions, the price difference is huge. This would be worth significantly more than the one from Illusions. Same thing if I ripped Select and I pulled a Patrick Mahomes autograph, or Prism, and I ripped a Patrick Mahomes. That's another popular one for football, Prism. That autograph, say it was numbered to 20, would be worth much more than an autograph from Donruss, also numbered to 20. So not all cards, not all autographs are made equal. There are favorite products within each sport that collectors kind of covet the most and therefore are worth the most. I use eBay, and some people use Beckett to check the value. I think eBay's the best. I'll always use eBay just to see how much my cards are worth. Very simple. Go on eBay, scroll through, see how much they're listed for. Then your filters, you can click sold as a filter, and I'll show you all the sold listings within the past few months. And this way you can see what it's gone for, what's the value of the card I'm holding in my hand. So I might have no clue how much this card's worth. I go on eBay and I see it last sold for $1 million. All right, and also the next one's also sold for like 900,000. It's probably worth somewhere within that range. And then some types of cards that are usually good. The best ones, once again, autographs. You want low numbered top rookie stuff. So this, this Jaren Jackson is a good example. It's numbered to 13 from Optic. So good brand, low numbered, one of the better rookies. Definitely worth some money. So super short prints like that Cam Reddish, that's worth good. Now the same parallel for a lesser rookie or a veteran, worth very little. So you want the top rookies or stars, and by stars I mean tip top stars. So LeBron James, yes. Anthony Davis, yes. Giannis, yes. Even like go a tier down to like the just stars. Sometimes those guys aren't worth as much. Obviously more than the lower tier vets, but the drop off can be pretty big. But yeah, so those are kind of what to look for. Now I'm gonna go over some terminology. So there's a lot of terms I use here you may not know. So I'm gonna go through a few right now. So LCS, local card shop. That's where you go buy your boxes from. You'll have an owner there, usually hopefully a good guy. Price is fair. Buy boxes. SSP/SP. That stands for super short print or short print. Based on the print run when it's not numbered, and even when it is numbered. Numbered card, once again, serial numbered, so usually they're stamped in like that in silver. Sometimes they can be handwritten like this, so this is 2 of 2. So there's only 2 of this card out there. there's one of one, so this said one of one. That means there's only one of this card in existence. Autograph, patch, relic, jersey. I already went over that. Case hits. So this is a case hit, but this is also probably a case hit. And here's how I'll show you. So if I bought a case of Revolution, which has 16 boxes, and has 2 inner cases, each with 8 boxes. So you'll open one big box, and there's 2 boxes in there. Each one has 8 boxes of this product Revolution. Within that 16 boxes, there's only one galactic parallel, and that's this parallel right here. So you only get one of these, and that would be a case hit. So if I opened, Prism draft picks, I think it is, right? Yeah, they have color burst ones, and there's only one of those per case. So you only see one of those pop out per case. Then another way of saying case hit is the best card from the case. So if I ripped 12 boxes of contenders and I pulled this card, and this is the best card, this was the hit of the case or the case hit. So 2 ways to use it. Then another one is silver or hollow and refractor. All these cards, like this is a silver, this is a hollow, or called a prism, or refractor, and those are all pretty much the same thing, just different names. This red one is also a refractor. It's just a red parallel of it. And those are just, where's that base card? So obviously, look at this one. It's dull, not shiny. It's just silver. This one is shiny, rainbow, reflective. That would be refractor / silver / hollow. Prism is called a silver. Optics called a hollow. You can really call it whatever you want. Some people are kind of strict in it. I really don't care. And then, these are rookies, or RC, also means rookie cards. And I think for the most part, that's it. Once again, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, mag. So this, where is it? This magnetic holder is called a mag, or one touch. There's also top loader, which is like this. So this little plastic hard case top loader is this. Then there's notice how it's in a sleeve, that little line. It's inside a sleeve, which is inside the top loader. Never put a card inside a top loader without a sleeve. You'll scratch the surface. I think that's pretty much it for the terminology. Next is grading. I'm trying to make this as quick as I can. With grading cards, like this card, for example, this is graded by PSA. PSA and BGS, or Beckett Grading Services, are the big ones. So I have 3 graded cards here as an example for you guys. So this Jaren Jackson, this Trey, and this Luka. So this one's graded by PSA. PSA does not have subgrades. This is a subgrade. So it shows you the corners, the surface, the centering, and the edges. Beckett also gives you the option to pay less and not have those. So this is, an additional option which costs more money. PSA does not have that option. But so this card, not graded, may be worth $500 if it was in this condition. Now grading it and confirming it's in good condition as a 10 grade, which is always graded 1 through 10. This makes it jump to say $1,500. Right? Now if it graded 8, it goes down in value, and if it grades 9, it usually stays about the same, but obviously that potential to grade high is now gone. You could always try regrading, but the condition of the card is usually the condition of the card. So this getting a 10, big jump in value. This getting a 9.5, jump in value. This getting a 9 makes it usually, from my experience, worth around the price of a raw card. That's another term, raw, not graded. But I feel like, for example, if this got 9.5, 9.5, and 10, it's in such good condition, and the centering, it's up to the discretion of the grader, but I feel like maybe if I could get it bumped up, I could submit it to PSA, and maybe it comes back at 10, because they don't have 9.5s at PSA. Or I could try resubmitting it to Beckett, and maybe they regrade it and it's a higher grade. But grading, once again, can increase the value. A lot of people who are investing will grade their cards because graded cards confirm that the good condition, which is what you want as a collector, cards in good condition. As long as you have a clean card, so that means, for example, I'm glad I actually put my smudgy fingerprints on this card. No fingerprints, no smudgy, no glue residue, nothing. Clean the card. So, for example, I use a little microfiber cloth, and I just kind of rub it. So, it won't come off fully because I'm just quickly rubbing it, but notice how it looks much cleaner. Do that before you grade. You want to make sure the corners So corners, 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 and corners are sharp, and you don't see any white peeking through. They're not dull in any way or soft. You want to make sure the edges don't have any dings. You want to make sure that the surface doesn't have any scratches. So if maybe there's a tiny little scratch that you can only see when it's like up in the light, or there's some foil peeling, that would hurt the grade, and it wouldn't come back as a high grade. The card's worth less. And then finally the centering. And a lot of people ask me, centering, they don't get it. How does it work? So here's this card. Notice how there's lines on here, and there's a border. We're just judging on this little 2x5, like 2.5 by 3x5 card, however big it is. This card, how well centered was it printed? So when they printed this card on top of here, was it to the left? Was it to the right? Was it too high, too low? Or was it smack dab in the middle? So this one's actually pretty well centered. The top is sometimes hard to judge, like right here. If the bottom and the top were both like this, it's kind of hard to judge. But because these lines help us judge it, I can tell that top wise, it's consistent with these other lines. It's pretty consistent here, and it's pretty consistent here. I could say the centering is pretty solid for this one. Once again, it's kind of the border consistency. This optic card is excellent because I can easily tell how thick the border is on all sides. Now, this one's hard to tell because there's no border. Now, they look at comparisons, and the way I would tell if it's centered well is I would go on eBay, look up an example of one that's graded 10 with a subgrade of 10 centering, or 9.5, and see how mine compares. So does this line up? How similar is these grooves to it? And that's kind of how I tell. But yeah, how well is the card printed in the middle, smack dab in the middle? If you want to learn more about grading, I'm no grading expert. I would encourage you to go to the sites, once again, PSA or BGS. There's also SGC, some random ones, but those are the big two. And if you go on the site, you can read all about it, the process, and you'll figure out how to grade. The price varies based on the card, the service you're choosing, the speed, stuff like that. And then finally, I think I just went through more information than I could go through ever. But yeah, if you want to learn more about cards, it's a process. I mean, you could have watched this whole video and still be confused. This will make more sense the more you collect. Like when I first started, I was so lost. I didn't know what Hobbybox was. I didn't know there was Hobbybox. I was just in my Target, like, this is it. Like kind of like Pokemon, where all the formats are just there. But by watching videos, by opening packs yourself, looking at eBay, what goes for a lot of money, what are they listing it for, what's sold for little, what's sold for lots, reading blowout forums, Cardboard Connection, going on Instagram, by going on all those things and just exposing yourself to more collectors, more collections, more cards, more products, you'll start to gain a knowledge, right? So you have to build it up. You do have to kind of do your homework, do lots of research, and you'll build up your knowledge, and eventually you'll have a lot of knowledge, and you'll just be like, hey, I know all this stuff now. You have to build up that knowledge, though. It doesn't just come like this. You don't watch this video and immediately understand it. It'll definitely take some time. At the end of the day, this is a hobby. It's for fun. Now, a lot of people try to make money out of it. A lot of people, just think about money, money, money. I have people DMing me all the time. I get like hundreds of DMs a day. And at least a quarter to a third of those are people saying, how do I make money with cards? And I'm like, dude, first, you gotta, you shouldn't just be in it for money. I mean, ultimately, this is a collection. It's about collecting. It's about having fun. If you want to just make money, you're gonna have to have your own strategy. I mean, there's no formula for making money. I'd ultimately recommend even people who do have profit in sight to just learn the hobby first. Just get to collecting, see what's what, and just become familiar with this hobby and enjoy it and have fun. So hopefully I answered any questions you guys have. I know this is probably the longest video I've ever released ever, and I could definitely use some rest after just talking for so long, but there's lots to cover. I hope that I helped you in some way, and just shed some more light onto how things are in this hobby, which is, I love this hobby. It's so much fun. I love collecting. I love sports. I'm sure you guys do too if you're watching this. So it's a nice way to collect those players, collect pieces of the game that get you a little closer to it. And it's just a lot of fun. Watching these guys develop is just a huge joy. So that'll do it for this video, guys. Longest one yet. Crazy stuff, but something had to be done, and hopefully it's helpful to you guys. So thanks for watching. Please like the video, comment down below with any comments, questions, and subscribe, ring the little bell for notifications. I'll see you guys for the next video.